Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to look at 5 things we learned from Arsenal's horror show defeat to Brentford. So the first thing on the list is more creativity is needed, as Emile Smith-Rowe is on an island of his own, and it is pass out wide to Kieran Tierney, decent cross, caught by goalkeeper, pass out wide to Tierney, decent cross, caught by goalkeeper, rinse, repeat. So that's basically what our creativity is. Also, we're just so thin going forward and clearly are crying out for somebody capable of unlocking a defence. Brentford sat deep and allowed Mikel to decide to pass around the back all game long, safe in the knowledge nothing was actually going to happen. The Gunners are right to be looking at someone like Martinelli, but the problem is he plays the same position as Emile Smith-Rowe, who is only the current player in the squad capable of creating chances. The solution really needs to be elsewhere. And we are a shambles in terms of our market, in terms of our transfer decisions. We need a creative midfielder. We can't just give a lot to Emile Smith-Rowe. I'd rather see him play in the left winger role. At this moment in time, I think rather in the way we should play is much more attacking. We should play with the number 6 with 2 central midfielders. I think with the likes of Smith-Rowe and Martin Odegaard, once Mikel tried it. I think that's the formation we should go with, that 4-3-3 formation. Because a team with a back 5 would nicely have a lot of fun playing Arsenal, because we don't have the chances. We are very poor at creating chances. So the next thing on the list is defending is still a major issue. Ben White had a nightmare debut. A £50 million spend on Ben White was supposed to be the answer to Arsenal's defensive woes, but the problems from last season were still there against Brentford, and Ben White was guilty of the same sort of mistakes as David Luiz and Shkodran Mustafi were last year. It was almost comical at times as everyone not named Kieran Tierney continuously conspired to bring Arsenal down. They were clueless when put under any form of pressure. Ben White was nowhere near good enough either, and that's a real concern. It's obviously still early days for him, but he has a lot of work to do to improve himself. And £50 million on Ben White. And I do like the player. I think his creativity is very good. I think he's a very good ball-playing centre-back. But a lot of centre-backs are ball-playing at this current moment in time. But the thing that he does, he can take that ball from that defensive position to that attacking position. But he was playing in a back 3. His defensive prowess is something that I am concerned about. £50 million was spent to improve our defence, but his calm and composed nature will be something that is useful, and hopefully we get Gabriel Magalhaes back sooner rather than later, because I think Gabriel Magalhaes and Ben White could complement each other. But for me right now, defence is not important. I think we need to score goals. That's even more important. So the next thing on the list is Folarin Balogun still needs time. Let's not get it twisted. Folarin Balogun would have not started this game if any of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Alexandre Lacazette or Eddie Nketiah were fit. I also know he's not ready for that. Circumstances dictated that the 20-year-old start here, and he looks really uncomfortable. The youngster couldn't get on the ball enough and really struggled to make anything happen when he did. In Balogun's defence, any striker would have struggled with the lack of service he received, but his chances of regular minutes will have taken a hit from this performance. And Arsenal's transfer strategy is awful when it comes to the youngsters. I think when you got the likes of Joe Willock leaving after he's got Premier League experience, to play a youngster in the first Premier League game such as Folarin Balogun, I don't think he has the passion, I don't think he has the ability right now to be a regular starter for the Gunners. I think if you compare it to the likes of Tammy Abraham, if you compare it to the likes of other youngsters that burst onto the scene at a very young age, I think Folarin Balogun is a white mile ahead. And if Arsenal are going to get the best out of Folarin Balogun, I think he deserves a loan move. Loan him out. I think the new deal was a good decision, but he no way looks like a top level player at the moment. He hasn't impressed for me. I don't think he's shown me why he's deserved that contract extension. I think it was just forced by the Arsenal fans, and I don't know, people were saying that he might be the next following Serge Gnabry. I don't see that. I don't really see that, and we took an L in this situation. So the next thing on the list is Mikel Arteta's concerns over Bernd Leno are fair. With his hands, Bernd Leno is alright. He probably should have done better with Sergio Canos' goal, but you can almost let him off for it. However, you can't excuse Bernd Leno's atrocious passes. The Germans seemed oblivious to Brentford's press and would happily hand the ball to teammates who really didn't want it. He constantly invited pressure with some sloppy decision, and it was abundantly clear why Mikel Arteta is looking for a new goalkeeper. And we are way below the curve at the moment. We need a ball-playing goalkeeper. This is something that the likes of City have. They have Ederson. The likes of Chelsea have. They have Mendy. They have the likes of even Kepa is a very good ball-playing goalkeeper. They got the likes of, if you look at Liverpool, with the likes of Alisson. If you look at the Manchester United, they have 2 goalkeepers. They realised David De Gea is not good enough, so they started to bring in Dean Henderson into the fold, and he is a very good ball-playing goalkeeper as well. But Bernd Leno is such a calm and composed lemon at certain moments where I do not think that he's decent enough. And I'm really sorry to Bernd Leno, but the way he plays, the way he passes the ball, I think he's under no pressure. He thinks that we're not losing the game after conceding the goal. There's no urgency in his passes, and every game in, game out, he's just proving that he's just a number 2 goalkeeper, and I don't really know why Arsenal signed him. So the final thing on the list is Mikel Arteta needs to step it up, and he's been back in the transfer market, and now it's time for Mikel Arteta to prove that he's worth all the time and money. I don't know what's wrong with Mikel Arteta. I think he's very biased. I think he's going in the wrong direction of how he wants the squad to improve, because I don't see what his direction is with the team. Is also a possessive team, is also an offensive team, is also a defensive team. What is also at the moment? We are a shambles. I think he's been backed fully. £70 million, if you give that to the likes of maybe Unai Emery, or if you give that to the likes of our previous managers such as Arsene Wenger, I think we can get a few good youngsters and we could be able to challenge for a certain moment. But it's one thing building up a good squad, but also clearly had no idea what to do at either end of the pitch. No tactics, just vibes. In attack, they passed Brentford to death without ever asking any real questions, before looking woeful at the back whenever they were put under any pressure. Nobody seems to know their job. These were concerns about Arteta's management last year, and they're still there. He has to do more. Yes, he get full and well. Yes, he has a big job. He has a big job on his hands. He took the job, knowing that his will be a big job, but he's been slacking, and I can't say anything else further because it's just going to turn into a rant. But Arsenal are a shambles. I am really scared for this team. I said it yesterday. We might get relegated. Serious talk. We might get relegated. We got defeated by the team that is probably the worst team on paper. They were the team that got through into the Premier League through playoffs. They got through for the playoff qualifiers. They didn't even get a straight promotion. They had to win. They were basically the last team, the worst team to qualify into the Premier League. So we are a huge shambles.